slice it and actually fractured and cut my finger at the same time.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, no, so let's go in the bin now.
So I was going to say, so you never want to use that ever again.
No.
Yeah, no. Okay. So good news is that the cutter is actually one of our host rewards. Now, I should have just made everybody, me big for everybody so you can get the best view. Sorry, my camera is a little bit blurry today because we had a few technical issues. But yeah, so the cutter is part of our host reward catalogue, and I'll explain all about the host rewards during the demo as well. But I'm recording for the other girls now as well. So let's get started. Thanks so much for all being here on a Tuesday at lunchtime. I know it's a bit of a random time to be seeing the Thermomix, but definitely come on, especially Lisa, if you've got any questions as I go about the Thermomix, please don't hesitate to just jump on off mute and ask questions. And same goes for you, Amy. If you've got anything that you want to add in there, just make sure that you do that. So just before we get started, I will let you know the price of the Thermomix. And hopefully I've got the right slide here. Look at that, I do. So the Thermomix is $2,579. We've got lots of different payment options, and I will go through those at the end of the demonstration as well. Currently, we've got a really good special for our people buying their first Thermomix. So currently we've got the bowl blade and lid as a free extra when you buy a Thermomix, as well as the cooking or creating something incredible cookbook, and you also get a $200 Woolworths voucher. And great news is that as consultants we're earning a Woolworths voucher as well, and Amy got hers today, so yay Amy. So we also have a special offer for our TM31 owners as well, who actually want to upgrade their Thermomix. So Thermomix has been going for years and years and years. You might not be able to see in this view, but I've got two previous model Thermomixes there behind me. We've been in Australia for almost 20 years, and we actually now are giving people who've had a Thermomix before a discount on their next Thermomix, because it is time for them to upgrade if their Thermomix is 10 to 15, 20, some of them are 20 years old. So that's a really good thing that Thermomix do. We don't want Thermomixes on benches not being used, and we certainly don't want them getting chucked out. So they go pretty much forever. Lots of people, when they upgrade their Thermomixes, they actually pass it on to a loved one, or you know, keep it as a second machine. They don't really break. So the Thermomix itself comes with everything that you've seen on that slide. I know that Kylie does use her Varoma to weigh the puppies. That is not what we want people using the Varoma for. Or we're fine for you to do that, Kylie, but just as long as that's not the only thing you're using the Varoma for. And today I'm going to show you guys a curry chicken. That's a really quick one, and you actually, while you're cooking the curry chicken, you actually steam cauliflower rice. So has anyone had cauliflower rice before?
Yeah.
Yep. Have you made it in the...
I have.
Yeah? Okay. Did you make it in the Thermomix, or did you like chop it up yourself, or how did you get there? Or did you buy it? Actually, you can even buy it already prepped, which is scary.
I just hand chopped mine.
Hand chopped it. Okay. Well, that's a thing of the past. So I've actually told the Thermomix that this curry chicken recipe is what we're having today. So if I go into my week, my curry chicken recipe is in there. Now this is what we call Cookie Do, and this is where all of the recipes for our TM6 are stored. It's a subscription service, and every recipe that's been made for the TM6 is in there. So you don't have to go and buy cookbooks and all the rest of it when you've got your subscription. So I've just gone into the recipe and I'm going to hit start cooking. Now you probably can't see because this camera is a bit crappy, but all of my instructions are now on my screen. So I don't need to get a cookbook out or anything like that. I just follow my nose and follow these steps. Now, the beauty of the Thermomix is that we can actually go, one side of our blades is sharp and the other side of the blades is blunt. So when you're actually breaking up cauliflower, you're not actually chopping it, because if you chopped it, it would actually probably juice the cauliflower. You're actually going in reverse and you're breaking it up. But the Thermomix knows that this is what I'm doing, so it automatically does that. You don't have to actually know that step. You just follow your nose. The inbuilt scales pop up automatically because it knows that I'm going to try and weigh something into my Thermomix. And those scales are in 1 gram increments, so they're really sensitive. And if you go a little bit over, you're still well and truly okay to continue, because, you know, 3 or 4 grams or whatever is not a lot. So I'm just going to put in half of my cauliflower. And I had a big cauliflower today, but I'm going to do the whole lot because I'm probably not going to use half a cauliflower for anything else. So I've popped my cauliflower in. I'm going next, and I'm just turning that dial. And now what this has done, it has chopped up my cauliflower. And I'm going to pop that on the tray. And you can probably see that. There's my cauliflower rice. So that was 5 seconds. And you can see that that's chopped up that cauliflower all ready to steam. So I'm just going to do the next half of my cauliflower. So you just do it in two lots. Again, you don't really need to know about that if you're in a recipe either. So going next, it's telling me to put my other half of my cauliflower in. And again, I'm going for another 5 seconds. Great. Now, when you are using your Varoma, girls that have got a Varoma, you want to make sure, like, obviously, the steam has got to touch the food that it's cooking. So when you're, the cauliflower rice is really an easy one, because you can tell, or you can easily make a little hole in this. But you want to make sure, if you block all of your holes of your Varoma, so if everything's covered and then you put another layer, that second layer isn't going to get any steam. And that's when you hear people go, oh, you know, I had to give it extra time, or the chicken didn't cook on the top, or whatever. So you've got to make sure you just make a hole like that. Just really, I can't probably see that, but I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm looking at my broken camera as well. There's like a little gap there so that I can actually see through the Varoma and I can see the holes. So you want to make sure that you do that when you're cooking in your Varoma, because when you put your next layer on, you want to make sure that the steam is coming up and actually can encase all of the stuff that's in that Varoma as well. So I'm just going to set that aside for a sec, and I'm going to continue on my recipe.
Kylie will want to get back in a second.
Oh, did Kylie just fall off?
Yeah, she just said to me it was going a bit funny.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh.
I'll jump back in a second.
We're having a good day with technology, aren't we? I tell you. Rightio, so now I've just gone next, and it just now will tell me the rest of my ingredients. So I'm actually cooking this curry from scratch. I have got a curry paste that I made in the Thermomix, really simple one that will last about 3 months in the fridge. And I'm literally using the last of it today, so I've had it for a while. So I'm going in with some ginger. So when you're doing your ginger, just peel your ginger. You can leave it in big chunks, that's fine. Again with garlic, just obviously just in whole with the garlic. And I'm leaving out the chili for this one, but and this is another thing, because you're cooking from scratch, you can you know, if you, oh, there she is, let her back in.
Yeah, booted her out.
Yeah, no, all good. There we go. She's back.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. It just went completely, like, I don't know.
That's fine. It's all good. So yeah, like when you're cooking from scratch, if it tells you to put a whole red chili in and your kids don't like things too hot, then you can just leave that out, or you can put half it. Like, you're still fully in control of what you're making here. Now, just want to make sure I've got no more garlic. No, we're good. So now that's ginger and garlic. You didn't miss much, Kylie. I'm just starting my curry now. Okay, so that's just chopped my garlic and my ginger. So you don't need to have a garlic press or a ginger grater. That you can see that has just completely chopped that up really finely. And this recipe, oh, that smells so good. This recipe actually wants you to not scrape down the sides of the bowl, and it will actually tell you that. So it just says, do not scrape sides of mixing bowl. Go next, put in your onion. Now this onion, I have chopped into quarters or into wedges. Normally you can just chuck an onion in half if it's going to chop it, but this one actually keeps your onion whole in wedges. And some oil. And Ruth, I'm wondering, are you cooking anything in your Varoma at the moment, or have you used your Varoma? And we're going with that. Now, this is cooking on our high heat setting. So the TM6 actually gets a lot hotter than our previous model Thermomixes. And I will take that off and I'll let you hear that the oil will actually start sizzling and it will start browning that onion as well. And the best part is that you won't burn it. So you're not going to, if you were sizzling, which we're now sizzling, I'll let you hear that. Can you hear that?
I'm just writing in the chat to Ruth. But you asked her in case she's, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah, so if you were actually cooking this like on the stove, in a fry pan, you'd have to make sure and stay there. You'd have to be stirring it. You wouldn't be able to just walk away for 5 minutes and let your onions start to brown. But with the Thermomix you can. You don't need to be here in between steps. You don't have to be even in your kitchen. So this is where the time saving starts, because whilst this is browning onions, you can be bathing a child quickly, or you know, helping someone with a reader, or whatever, like really quick tasks you can get done even in the little times, or even just cleaning up as you go, so that at the end you haven't got, you know, mountains of washing up to do, is really good. What do you do in your 5-minute step, Amy? What's
I usually get the kids' stuff ready.
Yep. Get kids organised.
Or school lunch packed, or...
Yep. Start helping do something that's going to help you tomorrow. Yeah. And like, obviously you've only got 5 minutes. You can't go and start a major task or anything. But it's all little bits of time that you get back. And also mental load that you don't have to actually be thinking about it. Like, if I was cooking here and I had onions on the stove, there's no way that I'd be able to be talking and, you know, doing other stuff as well. But the Thermomix is doing all the cooking. I'm just helping it along.
I think one of my favourite things with my Thermomix though, when I do use it, is that my kids can do it.
Yes, yeah, yep.
And I don't have to stress that they're going to burn themselves.
Yep.
They're not going to blow themselves up on the gas stove or anything like that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you would never let your kids sit up beside you if you were cooking on the stove with like hot oil or whatever. But my kids all grew up literally on the bench pressing the buttons. We had one of those bumbo things even when the babies were little, and I'd sit them up. People like freaked out and going, oh God, it's so dangerous. But I'd sit them up on the bench and they'd cook with me, whereas there's no way you could do that if you were cooking, you know, on the stove with hot oil or whatever. So
no, I have 2 teenage daughters.
excellent.
And
yeah,
it would be great if they could help a little bit more in the kitchen.
Well, and this is the thing, like, you are setting them up to actually be able to help. So if you just had an idea what you were cooking for tea, nobody can help you if it's just an idea in your mind of what's happening for dinner. But if you actually use Cookie Do, you've got the meal plan done, you've already done the shopping because you've planned it, your family can actually go to your Thermomix and see what's for tea tonight, they're actually much more likely to actually start or help you with the dinner. Like my husband can come along now and go, next, what step is she up to, and do the next thing, where there's no way that he would be able to do that if I was just cooking traditionally. So it is great to get some people to help us with these tasks as well. And the teenagers usually love it because it looks like an iPad and it's technology, so they love it. Do they help you much, Kylie?
Sometimes. More so my eldest. She's probably my more helpful one.
Yep. Yeah.
My middle daughter's, hit and miss. She's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
The youngest has probably helped a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my most helpful one would be my eldest. Yeah, no, Kelsey. Yeah.
That's a little bit the same as our house. The oldest one is the gun on the Thermomix. The middle one wants nothing to do with it. My mum actually asked her a question about Thermomix when she was up visiting her, and Molly had no idea. Molly's like, oh, I don't know. And Mum's like, do you know Molly can't even use the Thermomix? And I'm like, yes, she's like, literally that would actually be doing something for someone else, Mum, and she's a 12-year-old girl, so she doesn't want to borrow of it. But yeah. Okay, so now our onions are browned. You can see the browning there. You possibly can. I don't know how this camera's going. And we're now putting in some tandoori paste. So I'm actually just going to put in all that I've got left here. So hopefully it's about 90. The best part of this, I think the best part of all of the Thermomix cooking is that you are actually using real ingredients, and people say that the food tastes better in the Thermomix. It can't actually taste better in the Thermomix. It's just because you're using better ingredients. So of course this curry is going to taste better than one if I used a jar or a packet mix or whatever. And that's why the food tastes better in the Thermomix. So I put my tandoori paste in. I'm putting some tomato paste in. I'm really lazy with the tomato paste. I don't make my own in the Thermomix, which you can. And I buy it in those little sachets so that I can just open one and don't have a jar of that in my fridge. And then a little bit of water.
The amount of demos you do though.
Yeah, I know. I have to buy a box like every time I go to Woolworths. I should make my own, I know, but I don't. But look, and this is the thing. You don't have to, just because you have a Thermomix doesn't mean that you have to start being, a wife that stays home and makes everything from scratch and starts homeschooling the kids and, get, right back there. Like, you can just do whatever suits your lifestyle and how the Thermomix is going to help you. So I made my own almond meal because that helps me because it saves money and I can just do, half a container every couple of weeks, and that's the only thing I really use almond meal for is this recipe. So that's one less thing that I have to buy at Woolies. I just buy almonds and have my own almond meal. But tomato paste seems like too much effort for me. I like the little sachets and I'm going to keep doing that. So, it doesn't have to be everything, and lots of people, I think people think that because you've got a Thermomix, you have to start making everything from scratch. Just whatever suits you. So I put my almond meal in, and that actually thickens this curry. So it's a really yummy curry, this one, if you haven't tried it. And now I've got 500 grams of chicken, and I've just chopped that up into like bite-sized pieces, and a bit of salt. Now, Kylie and Ruth, I'm really hoping that you're making your own veggie stock paste. Can you give me a yes or no on veggie stock paste?
Yes.
Oh,
That's one thing I will say. I have made that.
Oh, excellent.
Actually, I have some sitting in my fridge at the moment.
My housemate makes all the stock.
Oh, that's great. Oh, well, girls, that's a 10 out of 10. That's music to my ears because the veggie stock, that's another one of those ones that makes the food taste so much better because it's real homemade stock, and no one was doing that before the Thermomix. So yeah, good work. I'm so pleased to hear that. If I ever hear from a customer who says that, you know, oh, that was a bit bland, or I didn't really like the flavour of that, if I ask them a few more questions, I can almost guarantee they're not using, they're buying stock from the supermarket, or they left it out, or they didn't use the stock. The stock is so important. Rightio, so while that's cooking, so now we've got like 7 minutes, 8 minutes of the first cook of that. So I've popped my varoma on here. As soon as I start getting steam coming up, my cauliflower rice is actually starting to cook as well. So what I'll do over here is give you a quick little demo for the girls that wanted to know about the cutter as well. So I'll just bring my other Thermomix in here. I know I'm very spoiled, I've got another Thermomix here. But the cutter just comes like this. So this is everything that you get when you get the cutter. And good news is that, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, I think it's early next year, we are getting another attachment for our cutter, and that's a spiralizer, so that it'll actually do those, like the spiral potatoes, and also like the zoodles and stuff as well. So it's just going to be a new attachment for the cutter. Okay, so when you get your cutter, you'll get this little bit which is called the shaft, and you just pop it in your bowl.
And don't leave it in there when you finish.
Sorry?
Don't leave it in there when you finish.
Oh, definitely do not leave it in there.
Some people have done that and blended it up.
And it just, so you only go to speed 4, so it's like your butterfly whisk. You only want to go to speed 4 when you're using the butterfly whisk and the cutter, and anything over it does tear it to pieces, so don't be that person. Okay, so you pop your shaft in, you pop your bowl in, and then you've got this, you've got 2 blades. So you've got 1 blade, but it's got 2 sides. So on one side it does grating thick and thin, and on the other side it does slicing thick and thin. So it'll do like a wafer thin piece of potato, and then it'll do like your potato for a potato bake size slice. And then with the grating, it'll do really fine little like worms of cheese, or just your normal chunky grate that's like when you buy grated cheese, basically. So you just decide whether you want to do grating or slicing. You've got slate is for slicing, grey is for grating, but you actually get a little ebook with your. You get an ebook with your cutter. And that will explain all what to do as well. And you just choose which side you want, click it in, grab your pusher off the ground that I dropped. You just pop it on. It's very simple, like so. And then you go into your mode. So now on your Thermomix screen, if you slide or swipe to the left, to the left when you're looking at it, you will have a whole modes screen. So have you been in there, girls, to explore the modes?
I have. I've noticed that there's some extra ones when my Thermomix updated last.
Yes. Okay, great. We might just run through the modes at the end as well, just so that you know what you've got in there as well. But in there is slicing and grating, thick and thin. So you go into your mode that you want, you choose that, you choose thick or thin, and it starts spinning. And then obviously this is your pusher, you drop your food in the top and you just push that down, and then once you're finished you just press your stop and you're done. Now, good thing is that all your food that you've sliced or grated is all in this bowl. This is all dishwasher safe, so everything can go in the dishwasher, but the best bit is, I think, it's perfectly sliced and grated, which is great. But you actually are left with a completely clean bowl, so it doesn't dirty your bowl. You could then continue to cook whatever in your bowl, or just leave it, or whatever. And the only bits that will need to go in the dishwasher are this bit. Your shaft doesn't need to go in the dishwasher because it doesn't actually get dirty. I'm going to break that by the end of this demo. Just keep throwing it across the room. Your blade can go in the dishwasher, and this can go in the dishwasher as well if it's dirty as well. So it's all very easy to clean up. Oh, excuse me. And that's that's pretty much your cutter in a nutshell. When you said, Kylie, that you really wanted a cutter, what were you hoping to cut in your or what were you hoping to grate or cut?
Probably mostly cheese, because we go through a lot of cheese.
Yep. Have you done grated cheese just in your Thermomix bowl?
I have, yes.
Yep.
But
yep.
I just found that, I don't know, I didn't...
Doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't look right, so I was like, oh, it looks a bit weird. I used it and it was fine, but I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then probably more so when I make potato bake, because I've been corrected by my brother and sister-in-law that the potato bake that I make is not potato, it is something else.
What
so
is
I was
it?
like, okay. I cube my potatoes. Like, I sort of just cut them up as if I'm making mashed potato. But I don't make mashed potatoes. Like, it's...
So they're chunky, they're not slices.
Yeah, they're just chunks of potato, and everyone loves it. Chunks of potato, cream, French onion soup mix, bacon, onion, cheese, and that's done. Instead of taking about 40 minutes, 50 minutes to cook, it takes about 20.
So, and you just chop your potato up into chunks?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
well,
I pre-boil it. So I pre-boil it.
Oh.
So it's soft.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, you might not...
Not the same.
No, I was very quickly told by my brother as well.
That's not potato bake.
That's not potato bake.
Well,
that's wrong.
This is the thing. The cutter might bring your potato bake into the next level of,
Well, that's why I stopped making it that way, because I was so sick and tired of the inconsistency with making potato bake. Like, you can't slice them properly.
Yes.
So it drove me insane, and I'm very much, I hate cooking.
Yeah.
So hence why I bought the Thermomix, because I cannot stand it. I just don't. I have really fussy eaters as well.
Yeah, okay.
So for me,
and that's the thing with the cutter, every slice is the same thickness, so everything cooks the same, takes the same level to cook. Because I know I'm with you. I hate if someone's done a thick slice that you get like an almost raw piece of potato in potato bake.
Yes, I hate it. It's like chunky.
What was that?
You're frozen.
Oh, am I?
Oh, it's not frozen for me.
Now it's back.
Oh.
You were just frozen for ages.
Oh. Well, that is my biggest ick, is biting into a half-cooked piece of potato. Nobody wants that in their life, do they? So now it tells us, it's done some dinging here. It tells us that it wants us to give everything a stir. So I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to give everything a little bit of a, how you going in here? And, oh, this is looking good. I'm just going to scrape the sides down now, because I've had a little bit of cauliflower still in there. And I'm just going to incorporate that down into my bowl. And I'm going to put my cauliflower rice back on there, and we're going to continue going. Now again, that Thermomix blade is in reverse, because obviously we don't want the chicken being touched by the sharpness of the blades. So it's in reverse, so it's just stirring my curry now. So it's literally got 4 minutes to go, and we will have our chicken curry, which is super quick. I absolutely love this recipe. You can put in whatever veggies that you want. You can chuck them in now and just cook, some snow peas or whatever if you wanted to add some veggies to this. But getting your kids to eat a whole cauliflower, when I first seen this recipe, I thought there's no way my kids are going to go for this, because they do not eat cauliflower. Now they actually prefer cauliflower rice over normal rice. And we pretty much have cauliflower rice with every curry that we have. Rightio. Now, when getting back to cookie dough, so I just want to run through a couple of the things for you to do in cookie dough. Now, you're probably doing a lot of these already, but just make sure, really, my number one cookie dough tip is to do a meal plan. So within cookie dough, I'll just run through this because I started in the middle. So cookiedough.com.au is where we go for this, and Lisa, you can actually go to Cookie Dough and start a 1 month free trial. so that you can actually have a look at some of the recipes, or you can have a look at all the recipes that are cooking in Thermomixes all around Australia, and see if that the recipes do suit you as well. So everyone can have a free trial. And when you're in Cookie Do, there's lots of different ways to search for the recipes. So if you've just got an ingredient, so if I had chicken, I could type in chicken and all the chicken recipes would come up. Or if I had chicken and spinach, I could type in chicken, spinach, and everything that has chicken and spinach would come up. So a really good way to use up what you've got in the fridge, or what's on special if you shop specials and stuff like that. Again, another really good way of doing it is shopping by categories. So if you do have like a gluten-free household or a dairy-free or something like that, you can find the tag, and then all of the recipes that have been tagged with that type of eating actually pop up. So that's really useful as well. Then the meal plan. So this, I think, is the best part about Cookie Do. It is that you can work yourself out a meal plan as far ahead as you want to go. You can just drag and drop your recipes into each day, what you're going to have. Then from there you can tick which ones you want to do shopping list for, add them to your shopping list, then you open up your shopping list, and you can tick off everything that you've already got out of your shopping list, and then you're obviously left with what you need to buy. Now from there you can send that just as a list to yourself, or to your husband to collect on his way home from work or whatever, or you can actually link it to Woolworths online. So if anyone's already doing like click and collect or Woolworths online delivery, this is a really game changer for just filling that cart with the things that you need. You don't have to go through and search for all the items, and that works really well. And then as Ruth said, there's also Cookie Do on your phone. So you've got an app on your phone for Cookie Do. So if you aren't quite as organised, you can take your app with you. Obviously you take it everywhere you go, because we take our phones everywhere we go. And you could be in Woolies and you can think, chicken is on special, what can I cook in with chicken? You can type that in and you can find the recipe that you're going to cook when you get home. So it kind of suits the really organised people and the less organised people as well. I'll just quickly come back because I'm just doing one more thing here. So our Verona is done. So our cauliflower rice is cooked. And now we're just adding in our coconut cream. Now I actually cheat with this recipe and I just put in the whole tin of coconut cream because I never want half a tin of coconut cream in my fridge. And I don't think you can have too much coconut cream in a curry. So all in, give it a good stir, and then we're nearly done. And it's just going to do 2 more minutes and then it is finished. So back to Cookie Do. Where am I? I was up to here. So Cookie Do 3.0, which I say we just got, but we've had it for probably 2 years now. You can also add your own recipes. So if you love a Cookie Do recipe, but you would tweak it, you would do this and you would change this, you can actually modify a Cookie Do recipe and make it your own. Or if you've got grandma's, favourite chocolate slice recipe or whatever, you can actually pop it in Cookie Do. You can convert it to Thermomix and then pop it in Cookie Do, so you've got it there to add to your shopping list and to have step-by-step instructions on your Thermomix. Now for our Thermomix owners, we actually do Cookie Do lessons every single month because, like I said before, we really want everybody to be using their Thermomix, and Cookie Do is such a big part of getting the best value out of your Thermomix and being really good at using that program. So we have lessons for that every month. We have a nighttime and a daytime session. We have an advanced Cookie Do lesson where we can actually help you convert a recipe as well, because when I say, you can just convert grandma's recipe, there's a little bit more to it than that, but we actually teach you how to do that as one of our owners as well. So questions about cookie dough? Kylie, do you think you're using cookie dough enough?
Yes and no. I think I probably could use it a little bit more when meal planning. So I'm big on meal planning, but my biggest problem with meal planning is I get really lazy.
Yeah.
And so I would love to be able to use it a little bit more just to have that. I want to do more online shopping as in groceries because
Yep.
I'm the kind of person I go through the shops and go, sorry, I'm going to mute myself for a second. There you go.
That's okay. I was just going to say, when you're doing meal planning, one of my really good tips on meal planning is sometimes there will be a recipe that you don't use the Thermomix for. So you know how like, you know, you do a meal plan and there's like one recipe that's, I don't know, we call it noodle crap and my husband cooks it and it literally consists of noodles and egg and chicken and he cooks it in a wok. It has nothing to do with the Thermomix. But I've actually made that a Thermomix recipe with no method. I've just put the ingredients in the list so that I can actually add noodle crap to our weekly plan. It's not going to get cooked in the Thermomix, but we don't forget to buy the ingredients for it because it gets added to our shopping list as well. So I've also added like just our veggies so that, you know, if we're just going to have meat and veg for a night, there's no actual recipe for that. I cook mashed potato and steamed veggies in the Thermomix and I've just added them as a shopping list basically in that recipe. One serve, what does our family as well.
Yeah.
So you can.
Yeah, I think I just probably prefer to just have that little bit more, just a little bit more stability with able to be. I don't know how to best describe it. Yeah, like I'm such a list person, but at the same time, at the moment, I've kind of stuck in a rut with I don't know what to cook. What are the kids gonna eat? And every time I ask the kids, they're like, I don't know.
I don't care. Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, can we have 2-minute noodles?
Yeah.
Lisa is okay. She just had to go at the moment, but she said,
okay, all good.
She's got to do a few things. I'm guessing it's kids related. She's got four young girls.
Yeah, no, all good.
We actually went to primary school together, and we had, I think it was her first daughter, maybe her second daughter. I can't remember. I think it might have been her second, and my second daughter on the same day, the exact same day.
Wow. What are the chances?
I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
Kylie's the one that's daughter ate the spaghetti bolognese at my house that time that I was telling you about, Gemma. Kylie's like, she raves about it still now.
Oh, if I went into her now and said, do you want some spaghetti? She would probably either ask me if it's Amy's spaghetti, or if I asked her about Amy's spaghetti, she'd be going on and on about it.
That's so good. Which recipe, Amy? Which recipe?
I think it's a chunky bolognese.
The chunky bolognese. Oh.
Yeah.
With the veggies in it.
Yeah.
And for Sophie to like it, it's huge because Sophie doesn't eat anything.
Yeah.
Although she's getting better. It's now Kelsey, my middle one, she doesn't like it at anything.
Yeah, right. It's such a winner. That chunky bolognese, we for years only had the basic cookbook bolognese sauce, and I actually really liked it, but lots of people hated it. And when that chunky bolognese recipe came out, oh my gosh, it was like a game changer. Everybody was like raving about the bolognese in the Thermomix.
It wasn't the chunky one, it was the bolognese sauce with the celery, garlic, carrot, onion.
Oh, that's the old one. That's the old sauce. That's the old one. Well, I like that one as well, but try the chunky bolognese because everyone raves.
Yeah, see, I think I've done the chunky one as well, and I turned it into. So I'm not a big fan of. I did the lasagna once before, and I'm not a big fan of the bechamel sauce in it. I think because I don't usually use it in a lasagna, so it's probably really not even a lasagna, more a meat and pasta.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just used the chunky bolognese sauce, and then did it that way. That was one of my other things. But my kids' favorite, like all-time favorite food has been the sticky sesame chicken.
Oh, yes. It's such.
It was a huge hit in our house.
It's such a winner. Yeah. So I'm just dishing up my my chicken curry now because we're done. So how quick is that?
That is pretty quick.
So good.
Is there any other, I guess my biggest thing for me is there any other must-have accessories
Yeah.
when purchasing, like when you've got one?
Yeah, we'll go through that. There's my chicken curry. And good news is that I've got enough for dinner as well. So not only have I cooked my lunch, my kids will be having that for dinner. So what a win for me today. So accessories. So other than the cutter, so let's actually talk about the host rewards.
Frozen for me at the moment.
Oh really? How's that?
There we go. It's coming back. It's come back.
I don't know why it's doing that. Far out.
Oh look, I have really
technology.
bad reception here.
Oh, okay.
So bad.
So things that people love when they have a Thermomix, we have pretty much added them all to our host reward catalogue. So have you got a blade cover peeler?
I do have the blade cover, yes.
Great, yeah. So there's lots of recipes that need a blade cover, or I shouldn't say lots. There's some recipes that need a blade cover, so you definitely need a blade cover. Obviously, we've already talked about the cutter. That's probably the next most loved thing. Thermo servers. So
they are my favourite. I love them. We had a barbecue on the weekend, and I actually used them for that because I love my husband, but he was just going to let it sit on the bench, and I'm like, it's going to go cold.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, what am I supposed to? I was like, we've got the thermo servers, just use them. He's like, oh, really? And then, you know what? It was probably 20 minutes later, and they were still warm.
Yes. Oh,
rather than going cold.
You can you can cook the sausages and put them in a oval thermo server. I like the oval for sausages and for barbecue stuff. Because I think it looks prettier. But you can put sausages or whatever in here, and then you just chuck that straight on the table, and you don't have to worry about dirtying anything else. Straight in the dishwasher, couldn't be easier. But yeah, same with the round. So everyone needs 2 thermo servers minimum, I think.
Yeah, I've got at least those.
Yeah, great. Okay.
I have a lot of stuff. I think it's just the cutter that I don't have. Possibly.
Yeah, of this whole list.
Do you have the glider board?
Do you have a glider board?
I have the glider board.
Well, glider board's good if you move your Thermomix around the bench, but if you're not moving it, then you might not need one.
I do. Unfortunately, I have it. My kitchen's not small. I shouldn't say my kitchen's small, but it's just
compact.
No, it's not even that, because I really have quite a decent sized kitchen compared to a lot of others.
Yeah.
But I like to leave it in the corner, whereas when I'm cooking, I want to bring it out so I can access it that little bit better.
Yeah.
And I have caught my darling husband on multiple occasions just dragging it along without it, and I was like, you can't do that. Do that.
Have you made yogurt in your Thermomix?
Yes.
I haven't made it, but my kids love yogurt, so...
Yeah, okay. If you've got yogurt-loving kids, then you need a white thermo server, because it actually fits inside the Varoma, and you can do pot-set yogurt. You can do like 1.5 litres, 2 litres, maybe 2 litres, maybe 1.5 litres at a time. It costs the cost of like the cheap milk, like the UHT milk.
Oh, wow.
So it's so much cheaper than buying yogurt. Like, I think we've worked out that if you make yogurt once a week, and your kids do eat a bit of yogurt, that is enough to pay off a Thermomix. So just what you can save in yogurt.
My husband eats yogurt. He usually takes it in the truck with him.
Oh.
But he likes that Valia yogurt, which is not cheap.
Yeah. Oh, well, and that's the thing.
Green tub.
When you're comparing like homemade yogurt, you are actually comparing it to like the top of the range pot set good yogurt.
And that Gelno yogurt.
You just have to tweak your recipe to get the flavour what they like, because a lot of the yogurt that we buy has got added sugar, and that's not a bad thing. But you just have to get that sweet spot of where your kids will eat it versus them knowing it's homemade. So for like when my kids were little, I used to have the vanilla jalna pot, and I used to actually put the yogurt back in the pot and have it in the fridge, and they didn't know the difference. But the second I actually got a Tupperware container and it was mum's homemade yogurt, they wouldn't eat it. So you've got to trick them a little bit as well.
100%.
The other really good host reward on there is the Cookie Do subscription. So your cookie dough subscription is $89 a year, but we can actually get that for our owners for $25 a year just for hosting a demonstration, inviting 2 friends along, and you get that. So you could have that. You could do that every year as well.
Yep.
So that's a really good one. Other accessories. The next newest thing that we've had is the Thermomix sensor. Have you seen that?
I've seen it in the list when I was going through the mix shop not long ago, but I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I got one.
You've got one, Amy?
I got one with my Thermomix.
Oh, you did too, yeah. So this is awesome. Basically, it connects your oven to your Thermomix, if that makes sense. So you actually, it's like a little probe, and you stick that in your meat or your bread or whatever you're cooking, cake in your oven, and you tell the Thermomix what you've stuck it in, basically, and the Thermomix tells you when it's cooked.
Oh,
So it's a digital wireless thermometer. It's
Yep.
very useful. It's very good.
I just have to answer this call because I
Oh,
don't
you're
know
right.
who it is.
Okay,
It's
while
right.
you're
I'm going to
doing
send
that,
it to message bank.
I'll just, for the recording, I'll just go through the payment options so that we can give the girls the recording as well. So I've already done host rewards. So our payment options are $2,579 on any of our different options. Our favourite option is to come along and join as a Thermomix consultant, as Amy did. So Amy's actually earning her Thermomix at the moment. So she's a quarter of the way there already, Amy. And you can join our team and either bring your own Thermomix if you've already got a TM6, or you can come along and earn a Thermomix as well. So currently we have got that on for half price. So your business kit is reduced from $150 down to $75 at the moment. One of our other options is to pay off your Thermomix with Zip Money. So Zip Money is 24 months interest free, $27.12 a week is our Zip Money option. And we also have just partnered with Hum. Now Hum are a really great company to deal with. We love Hum. And they are a buy now, pay later company. So it's not like getting a credit card. This is actually like a take home lay-by. You pay 5% deposit, which on a Thermomix at the moment is $1,029. And you pay it off in fortnightly, monthly, weekly, however often you want to pay it off with Hum. And once you've got to the end, that's finished. It's not like something that you can redraw on. So you actually get your Thermomix paid off, and you don't have to pay any interest with Hum. So about $48.27 a fortnight with them. And I've gone backwards, sorry. And we also have got Easy 3, which is just in 3 installments on a credit or debit card. And they're all of our payment options at the moment. Like I said, we do have the Afterpay, PayPal in 4 and all of that on the front screen. So they're all our payment options. What was the other thing I was going to mention, Amy?
Yeah, but do we still have Zip?
Sorry?
Zip Pay? Zip
Yeah.
Money?
Yep, I did
Yeah.
Zip. Yep. So
Oh,
Zip's our 24 months interest free. Yep. We love Zip as well, but I tend to like promote Hum more just because a lot of my customers tend to have an easier experience getting approved and all that kind of stuff with Hum. But yeah, whichever suits best. Chat to myself or Amy if you've got any questions about the payment options. I think that is about it, girls. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to hang on, and if you've got any questions, and I'll just pause the recording. Bye for the recording. We'll be in touch.